What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Thomas Gallery. Today, I just left an interview for a job, and I got the job. Yay to me. But I wanted to talk about being an artist and working a 9 to 5 at the same time. What I mean by that is, what sacrifices will have to be made when you are an artist, yet you're working a job at the same time. Now, this is nothing new for me. I've had jobs before and been an artist at the same time, so it's nothing new for me. But I never really thought about, what do you sacrifice as an artist when you have a job? I said, I've had jobs and I've done paints and I've done artwork and all that stuff before, but I'm now starting to contemplate what happens when an artist has a 9 to 5 job, so to speak, quote unquote 9 to 5. And one thing I notice is the time that you have to set aside for yourself in order to still be productive artistically. What I mean is, when you work in a job, when you have a job, you know that the majority of your time goes to that job. You got to get up in the morning, you have to, clean, bathe yourself, all that stuff, wash your face, brush your teeth, wash your behind, all that. Have to drive or some kind of transportation to your job and work there for 8 hours or so, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. Do your job, go back home, get out your clothes, eat something, blah, 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 blah. And all the while, as an artist, because we artists are very, very driven by the concept of freedom. Knowing that we have the freedom, the time, which gives us the energy and the effort to create artwork, knowing that time, that quote unquote free time, is now being cut into drastically, it leaves the artist wondering, when will they find time to be creative again? And I've been thinking about this for a little bit now. Like, when will I have the time to be as creative as I normally would have been? Or when I am being creative, will my artwork, will it suffer in any form or fashion? Maybe due to time constraints, to levels of energy, inspiration. Will you be less inspired, more energetic, less energetic? Will you find more inspiration, less inspiration? These things come to my mind. And if you know, I'm walking around the area right now. There's like a garden around here where you see like a bunch of plants and herbs and stuff. Very beautiful, actually. But for me personally, when I want to create, when I have an idea in my mind that I want to create, will I have the motivation to create, knowing that I have to either go to work or when I come home from work? Will I be as motivated as I used to? Will my art suffer? Will my quality of art suffer? I don't know. I mean, in years past, when I've worked and stuff and been an artist, even though I didn't actually create as much because I was tired because of my jobs, but whenever I did create, I had to consecrate a space, either a space in an actual physical place or space as in time to really focus on being creative. I had to set aside, I had to make sure that I set aside a space for myself that's meant for my art. I had to make sure that no matter what I do or where I work or how long I work, I had to make sure that if I do nothing else, I had to consecrate a special time in the day that's for me. Because working a 9-to-5 job will take, play this, you may work 8 hours out of the day, but you do not give up 8 hours of energy. Think about that. You may only work 8 hours a day, but you do not give up only 8 hours of energy. You give up more energy out of your day from working than you actually do physically working. You may only physically work 8 hours out of the day, but the energy that you exert on your destination to work is far greater than 8 hours. Half of your day, if not more, could be spent either preparing to go to work, working, or coming home from work. So how much of the day does the artist have to be an artist? Because one thing about us artists, we value space. We value time. We value inspiration. We value mental space. We value open areas that helps us create. But when that mentality has to be subsided so you can focus on working and producing things for someone else, you find yourself not as motivated. You find yourself that your energy is lacking. And it's a double-edged sword, because you have to find some kind of way to provide for yourself. You have to find a way to provide for yourself. Okay. But you have to sacrifice your artistic, the full potential of your artistic juices in order to get a steady paycheck. Because pretty much you're working for a steady paycheck. I mean, the one disadvantage about the art world is that you may get paid more, but you won't get paid as frequently. You understand what I'm saying? You may get, like, you could sell a piece of artwork that can be higher than 3 of your paychecks combined, right? However, the frequency of that $2,500 art piece sold, or that maybe that $1,000 art piece sold, or maybe that $500 art piece sold, the frequency of that happening isn't as great as a steady paycheck from a job, from a 9-to-5 job. So you have to, as an artist, split yourself in half almost. You have to have one side of you that says, okay, I have to work. I need a steady paycheck because the cost of living is always going up. You got bills, you need to eat. You may want to have a social life of your own. You may have to buy supplies for more artwork. Think about that. You may have to get a job so you can have money to buy more art supplies so you can hopefully sell a piece of work for a large amount of money. It's a weird game, and I think about this a lot now. Now, when I was younger and I was working jobs and me being an artist still, these thoughts never came to mind. But it wasn't until recently, like really, really recently, that these thoughts just kept bombarding me, like, wow, the life of an artist is split. It's really split. Because you want to have the full freedom of art, but that full freedom of art may leave your pockets low. So you can have all the freedom you want, the full freedom you want of an artist, and unless you're already an established artist and you're pretty much doing well for yourself. If you are, God bless you. But to struggling artists like myself, our thought process is, I have to work for someone else so I can do what I have to do to have the fortunate opportunity to do well in my chosen passion so I can do things for myself now. I have to work for someone else so I can gather enough to finally work for myself. It's a weird it's a weird double-edged sword. It's a weird, I won't say trick, but it's ironic. There you go. It's ironic. It's ironic. In order for the artist to get to have what they need to pursue their art, they may have to go to someone else for employment. Because the actual dream of all artists is that they can sell their work to the point where they no longer need to work for someone else. That's the dream. That's the dream of every artist on the planet, is to have your art be made and sold so frequently and for whatever price you desire that you no longer need to go to someone else for a job. The only boss you will have is your customer begging for your work. Every artist wants that. So, but most of the time, I would say 95 to 98% of all artists had to work for someone else in order to gather the resources that they needed so they can eventually do better for themselves with their artwork. There's rarely an occasion where the artist, right off the bat, has done well for themselves, where they can support themselves without having the need to go to someone else for, employment. Rarely does that happen. Rarely, when I say rare, you have a better chance of arm wrestling a grown grizzly bear blindfolded with honey on your body, beating the grizzly bear and walking out slowly without being eaten. You have a better chance of that happening than, I'm exaggerating, but still, you get the point. You have a better chance of that happening than you as an artist being successful right off the bat. Now, granted, it has been made easier because of social media, but the chances are still slim that you will be that one artist on social media that will pop. So what do? You find employment. You try to supplement your art income with a steady income. And hopefully those two incomes can do right by you. And hopefully while you're doing that, your artwork will begin to increase. Your price will begin to increase. And whoever purchases your artwork will begin to increase. So it's just a thought I had in my head. I just wanted to share. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of artists who think the same thought. But I just decided, just to talk about it. So this is my little rant. Thank you all for watching this video. Leave a comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will catch you all later. Peace. Peace.